Compound schedules of reinforcement. Discriminated schedules of reinforcement. Schedule concurrent or matching law. Description: two or more schedules of reinforcement, each with a correlated SD, operate independently and simultaneously for two or more behaviors. For example, a student is given two math worksheets, one blue with addition problems and one white with subtraction problems. The student can work on either or both types of problems and earns a reinforcer for every 10 correct answers to addition problems and every 5 correct answers to subtraction problems. This is known as concurrent FR10 over FR5. Multiple two or more basic schedules of reinforcement for the same behavior operate successively, usually in random sequence. An SD is correlated with each component schedule. Reinforcement is delivered each time the response requirements are met for the schedule in effect. For example, during their daily math practice, a student is given a blue worksheet or a white worksheet. Which color worksheet is assigned each day varies randomly. Regardless of color, each worksheet contains a mix of 100 addition problems. On blue worksheet days, the student earns a reinforcer for each 10 correct answers. On white worksheet days, the student receives a reinforcer each time he correctly answers a variable number averaging 5 of problems. This is referred to as multiple FR10 over VR5. Chained. Two or more basic schedules, each correlated with an SD, operate in a specified sequence. The component schedules may require the same behavior or different behaviors. Meeting the response requirement in the first component presentation of the SD for the second component must be accomplished, and so on, until all elements in the chain have been completed. For example, a student receives a worksheet containing 20 addition problems. When the student has correctly answered all of the problems, he receives a second worksheet, this one with 10 subtraction problems. After correctly answering the 10 subtraction problems, the student receives a reinforcer. This is an example of a chain FR20, FR10. Tandem. Two or more basic schedules operate in a specified sequence like a chain schedule. Unlike with a chain schedule, however, an SD is not associated with each component schedule. For instance, a student receives a worksheet with math problems. She earns a reinforcer for completing 15 problems, and then, the first problem completed after an elapse of 2 minutes also produces a reinforcer. This is an example of a tandem FR15 FI2. Compound schedules of reinforcement. Schedule, alternative. Description: reinforcement is obtained by meeting the response requirements of any of two or more simultaneously available component schedules. Reinforcement is delivered regardless of which schedule component is met. All component schedule requirements are reset following reinforcement. For example, a student receives a worksheet with math problems and is instructed to begin. If 15 correct answers are emitted prior to the elapse of 3 minutes, a reinforcer is delivered. If the FR requirement is not met after 3 minutes, the first correct answer from that time forward is reinforced. This is an example of FI 3-minute/FR15. Schedule conjunctive. Description: reinforcement follows the completion of response requirements for two or more simultaneously operating schedules of reinforcement. For example, a student receives a worksheet with math problems. After 15 problems have been answered, the correct answer after an elapse of 2 minutes produces reinforcement. This is an example of conjunctive FR15 SAFI2.